Hello, hello. This is Dawn McCoy, and I am here to talk with you about all things leadership. If you can hear me, type a one in the box. And if you're joining me for the replay, type hashtags replay. Love to know where you're coming in from today. So if you type in the box, I'd love to hear. And also to talk with you about leadership, we are near the end of a year. So I thought it would be appropriate that we talk about a little bit of leadership and looking back in retrospect, some lessons that were learned. So I don't know about you, but it was quite an exciting year. So let's just get right into it. It was an exciting year for many reasons. We don't have to go into them and rehash them. But one of the most important things that I learned from this 2020 year was that it's a year of lessons to be learned, to reflect on what we can do differently, better, what we can take away, what we can leave. And so, without looking at this being a New Year's resolution discussion, to talk about what we can do with what the information we have. So, one lesson learned for me this year was to stay focused, regardless of the changes in the work from home, the provisions for school and remote learning, for all of the social and political and other types of upheavals and all of the dynamics happening around the world. It was number one to stay focused. Did you do that this year? Did you do that? I know I had my bumps and moments of being able to stay focused, but we can all do it. We just have to buckle down. So I want to encourage you, if you have not already figured out a plan for yourself to stay focused, I want you to think about doing that in 2021. The lesson I learned was when things get bumpy or unpredictable, keep going. We had so many changes with the work from home provisions or the remote learning provisions that it was a matter of being prepared and adequately getting my resources and my game plan together and stay focused so that I can maintain balance and optimal leadership, community and otherwise. So that would be important. One of the core areas of the work that I do is about helping leaders to maintain balance and focus and continuum. Leadership is not something you just wake up one day and I'm a leader. It's something that develops over time, but also through trying times like we've had in 2020. And I can tell you, each person on the planet, in one way or another, has stepped up to be a leader. Whether or not it's bad or good, that's not our call for judgment. But more importantly, it is for us to say, what can we do as individuals to lead our charge and to do more? I want to encourage you, if you haven't already been following me across social, Dawn McCoy Books, please do so, because I'm starting to put together a culmination of some of these things that I've learned, lessons and opportunities in 2020, because it was really, like I say, a year of staying focused. And so what I've been able to do are some different ways of getting messages out, shorter, sweeter, because the attention span, but also people are so distracted. The online market is oversaturated. And so giving people breaks from lives and Zooms and FaceTimes and all sorts of ways of communicating, we have to think of ways to reach each other in shorter periods of time and be mindful of our need to maintain that balance in our home lives. So that's number one. So if you have not already done your laser focus for 2020, please do so. And if you do feel like dropping a comment in here, please do so. I see a couple of folks jumping in, so thanks for joining in. The second point that is a major takeaway, a lesson learned, was to be diligent in 2020. Did we have an option, right? I mean, it was just that kind of year or that kind of month or 360 odd days of nonstop change. And so our job is to persevere as leaders, as those in our communities and our families, and regardless of where or what we might be doing, our job is to maintain not just the focus, but to persevere as we do that. Now, what's the difference? Yeah, 6 and 1/2 dozen, right? Well, it is a difference. Staying focused is being able to have laser-like 2020 vision, no pun intended, but also to make sure that we are doing that perseverance, that industrious part of ourselves, that creative way of ourselves. And folks, I do want to say that I personally believe we're experiencing another industrial revolution. If you haven't noticed, every third person has some shingle they have their hangout, their sign, and they've got their what they do and their service or their resource or something they put together, because we have a new era of people being able to be resourceful with talents and skills. With the job market being what it has been, people had to get creative. with the food crisis, people have had to be leveraging dynamics and communities. And so we've had to be very industrious as a community, I say the world. And so when you think about what you can do is to maintain that perseverance and to maintain not only the focus, but to be diligent in doing so. And I always say that your leadership journey isn't something that you just charted. You're on this trajectory and you're just going off and off you become your leader. But it's actually happening right now. If you're not already in a position of leadership, it's evolving and it's happening. And so I did want to just share with you those 2 lessons learned for 2020. I want you to stay tuned next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, coming into the new year, where I'll be talking about all of the new and exciting things that we can do, not New Year's resolutions. I'm not one for those because I do them for about a month and then I just trash them. They're not worth it. But being able to set real goal setting and being able to focus on what will be helpful for me carrying over from the prior year. So we don't want to lose stock of what we've learned, lessons, and really just some of the bumps along the way, and think about what we can do in 2021. So again, if you're not already following me, please do so across social. And if you did, type in the box, so what worked for you this year? What ways were you being industrious or creative? What ways were you thinking of some new ways to stay focused, a new vision? I know I actually got some really cool new upgraded glasses. I have to laugh about being into a bifocal. And so I laughed about the idea that I needed to have some additional vision and eyesight support. And so accepting that was part of my 2020 of being able to see clearer and to stay focused with an adjustment to my vision. And so I want to encourage you, if you have not already done so, please think about what will work for you in 2021. All right, well, that's all I wanted to share with you. You can also follow what I do at flourishleadership.com, and certainly look forward to seeing you again next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Until we meet again, be enlightened, be enriched, be empowered.